Hey, it's Ethan. In this video, you're going to learn everything you need to know about cold email copywriting. So we're going to start by diving into some copywriting frameworks. These are tried and true. People have used these for decades to do direct response copywriting, cold email copywriting, ad copywriting, VSL copywriting, any type of copywriting that is focused on how do you actually sell something. People have used these frameworks for it. So these are solid frameworks to know whether you're wanting to do cold email copywriting or any type of copywriting. And then we're going to dive into the structure of a cold email. What are the different components that create a solid cold email? And then we're basically going to go into the actual process for how do you write this thing. And so there's a process from what type of information you need to get, how do you consolidate it, how do you turn it into a cold email, and create split test. And so essentially what we're going to be doing on this call is going through the copywriting frameworks, the copy structure, the process, and then I'm actually going to go through this process with you live on this call. We're going to create a cold email sequence and split test for an actual client that I'm working with. And so you'll be able to see what this looks like in real time in a real world situation, not just some random thing that I generated in my head. And so you'll be able to see both kind of the theory of cold email copywriting, a little bit more tactical, and then like an actual demo of me writing copy. And so let's dive right into it. So there's a bunch of different copywriting frameworks that we can use. There's the before after bridge. There's the AIDA framework, PAS framework, and the 4Ps. So these are just copywriting frameworks. If you look up top copywriting frameworks, this is what you'll find. These are just ways, mental models to think about what are we actually writing about, what are the different components that we're adding into these copywriting frameworks. And if you just have these as a baseline, it will make the rest of your copywriting better because you're not going to just be shooting in the dark. You're actually going to have various different models of what good copywriting looks like. So let's start with the before after bridge framework. So this is basically saying, like, you've probably seen this on different advertisements, on different YouTube videos. It's basically like, how do you take people from their current pain point into the after state, the transformed state? And so anytime you're mapping out a customer's pain points, potential benefits of your product, you're doing offer creation, that is where the before after bridge framework comes in. So the idea here is to be able to highlight their pain points at the start of the email and really speak to those, and then provide your solution and your offer as a bridge to that, and then reduce as much friction as possible for them to actually say yes to that offer. And so that is just a really solid framework to think about. We're going to be using this framework when we actually create the offer, create the cold email copy later in this video. But you can just think about it as how directly the effectiveness of this framework when used is how effectively can you speak in the customer's language of the specific problems, frustrations, and challenges that they have, and then how big are the benefits, how large are the results that they will see, and how much friction can you reduce between those two things. So now let's dive into the AIDA framework. We'll go back to this one in a second. But the AIDA framework is essentially you hook their attention, you build interest, you create desire, and then you ask for a CTA at the end. So this often works more in content or direct response copywriting, where you have a little bit more room to actually work with. You have a little bit more words, but the theory is the same here, right? The first line of the email is always the most important. You want to hook instantly. And so we'll be talking about this a little bit later, but the way that we're actually going to be hooking the person's attention is by highly personalizing each email, because if they feel like the email was written solely for them and it's not just a template email, they're going to be hooked. That you're grabbing their attention, and then you're trying to build interest and engagement. So there's a bunch of different ways that we can do this, but the primary way is by telling them that we can solve their problem. And the way that we build desire and emotional connection here is by actually removing the friction. So it's very similar. A lot of these frameworks are like you're accomplishing the same thing, but you're using different lenses or perspectives of looking at how do you actually write valuable copy. So in the desire one, we're basically saying I can get you to this point with very little effort, and I'm going to give you some sort of guarantee to just make this a no-brainer, right? And then the action, the conversion, you always want to have an ask in a cold email. If you don't have an ask, like, why are you even sending cold emails in the first place? So it's going to be like you're hooking their attention, building interest, creating desire for your offer, and then we're going to have the CTA for them to book a call. So the next framework is the PAS framework. So this is the problem, agitation, solution framework. So you're identifying the first pain point, amplifying the pain, and then presenting the answer. And so this one is a little bit different in that, sure, it's kind of like the bridge. If you look at it this way, you're going from, let me just do this. You're going from the problem, bridging to the solution. But this is there's a little bit more context here on how you're actually making that bridge from problem to solution, right? You're doing this by amplifying the pain. So in order to amplify the pain, you have to understand their pain point viscerally. You have to understand, why is it a pain point? What is the exact pain that they're going through? And then by agitating it, you're basically finding a way to communicate exactly why that is a pain. You're kind of like reminding them of how visceral that pain actually is, right? So it's like, hey, do you suffer from this? These are the effects of suffering from this. I actually have a solution that can bring you out of this pain point. And so it's very similar to the bridge, but it's you can almost see this as like a tactic or a strategy to more effectively accomplish the before-after bridge framework. And so that brings us to our last framework here, the 4 Ps framework. So this is, again, you can start to see a pattern here. It's like, you're starting here, I can get you here. Take this action step to work with me. And so it's like, I am going to hook. What is the specific promise that we're going to make? That is the hook. The value prop. The value prop could also potentially go in the, like, right before the call to action. This will most likely work better for long form content, but the idea is the same, right? You're hooking their attention. You're painting the vision of the better future. So this is almost like the positive version. I almost want to like make this color coded. This is almost like the positive version, and this is almost like the negative version, right? So in this one, you're stating the problem, and then you're like, it's been called like twist the knife. You're like agitating that problem. In this one, you're actually focusing, rather than like agitating the problem, you're agitating the solution. I wouldn't really call it agitating, but you hook their attention, and then you paint the vision of what they could accomplish if they are to work with you. Then you show proof of, like, why should they trust you, essentially. What is your credibility? This is going to be very important for cold emails. And then the last push is like, what is the specific action step that you want them to take? And that is the last aspect of the 4 Ps framework. So now that we have a baseline understanding of the different copywriting frameworks, what's going to be most important in this video is, how do we actually implement these frameworks? How do we actually, like, let's actually go through some examples where we're writing copy using these frameworks. And so there's a couple different components to a cold email, essentially. So you have the subject line, opening line, value prop. You have to show proof, which is what we talked about over here, evidence and credibility, like why should they trust you, and then the call to action. And so the idea here is that you want to pattern interrupt. You want to have a subject line that's going to make them like turn their head a little bit. You're like, oh, all right, I'll open it. Then once they open it, the first sentence that you have in there, you want to make sure that like is so personalized that they are feeling like, oh, this person took the time out to personalize this email. I'm going to respond to them. Then it's the value prop. And so again, there's the different ways of actually framing that value prop, right? Specifically the PAS and the 4 Ps framework. This is how we're going to actually like basically package the value prop. Like we have our offer. We know what the problems are that we're solving for in the specific solution that we built. And we use these frameworks as different ways of actually packaging up that offer, and that will eventually turn into split test. but I'm getting ahead of myself here. So the next thing is social proof. So you want to say like, how much revenue have you generated for your clients? Have you worked with companies like theirs before? There's a bunch of different types of credibility that we can add in here, but you just want to show them that like, you know what you're doing, you've done this before. And then you want to make the call to action as low friction as possible. And so the last part in here is really, you want to, we'll get into that in the next section. And so if we're going into the copy structure, there's a couple different things. Like when I studied copywriting, I've worked in copywriting for multiple years. I wrote articles for a website for a crypto business, and then also did LinkedIn copywriting and other types of copywriting. I've taken more copywriting courses than I can count. And one of the biggest things that I learned in all of these courses is like the quality of your research determines the quality of the copy, right? To be able to put yourself in the shoes of the person, that's how you write the best copy. And it's almost like 90% of the copywriting work happens before you actually type a single word. It happens in all of the research that you're doing on the person. What is the language they speak in? What tone do they speak in? What are the problems they're struggling from? What are the specific social, like there's different drivers, right? So if we think of pain points and challenges, we can even break this down further in saying like, what are the specific categories of pain points? Is it a psychological, emotional? Is it like a social? Is it like fitting in with someone, with a group of people? It's like a mental thing. Is it a physical thing? Like your physical environment is not what you want it to be. And is it like a money thing? Is it a relationship? So there's so many different ways that you can actually frame and understand these pain points. And the thing is like, you want to understand their pain points, yes, but you also want to understand how do they speak, right? That's what it will make the copy high quality. And so the next thing is you want to understand what are the specific goals that they have. That will help you frame your offer in a way that relates to them. And then the job in the company, these are really for the personalization. So this is a lot of what we will have AI do. And the next video after this one, if you're watching this probably released by now, will actually show you how to build out AI systems to take a person's job, role, and company and do a bunch of research on them and hyper personalize that email. For the sake of this copywriting video, I'm going to basically keep it as like there's the personalization component, which is always the opener. And so that being said, like we talked about before, there's the subject line, there's the hook, there's the solution, or we'll call it like the solution or the offer, and there's the CTA. And so the biggest thing here is you want to make sure that it's relevant to them. If they feel like the message isn't relevant to them, they're not going to reply to it. You want it to feel that there's research backing why you're saying that there's a genuine value exchange, that it's not just you asking but not giving. And you want to make the call to action as specific and clear as possible. And you definitely don't want it to be too long. The longer the cold email, the less likely they are to respond. If I open up a cold email and I see like 4 paragraphs of text, I'm not reading that. I'm archiving that right away. So you want it to be like a maximum of maybe 6 sentences, and you want to have a lot of page, like line breaks in between them. And so I want to go into a couple cold emails that I've written specifically in the past that have worked really well. And I want to show you kind of like what the components of them were. So one of them is like, I'm scraping a list of people that are creating job posts essentially, and I'm personalizing a cold email for them. So the personalization is happening based on the job description and based on the person that I'm reaching out to. And then you basically want to pattern interrupt, right? So I know this is out of left field, but so they'll look at it, and it almost adds more credibility because you're saying like, hey, I know you're like kind of not expecting this email, but here's what the offer is, right? Rather than just like, hey, I do this, buy my thing. It sounds way different to be like, I know this out of left field, but and then you add in the research that you've done or that the AI has done, but I saw you were hiring for a business development representative. And so you're saying like, hey, I know this out of left field. I was researching you, and this is what I found when I researched you. And based on that research, here's the conclusion that I've come to. is that I feel that I could actually add value to you, solve your problem. So it's almost stating like, hey, I saw that you have this problem of you want someone to work on your sales systems, which is why you're hiring for a business development representative. I've actually done this for people, for clients, and got them these results for people just like you. I would love to do that for you, and I guarantee that you'll get the same results that I've got my clients, or you don't pay. Would you like to hop on a call? And so you can kind of see these copywriting frameworks in here. There's the 4 P's, right? The promise, picture, proof, push. So we're promising. I guess we're actually, this is more like it's more like the IDA, but we're kind of adding this in here as well. So it's like, here's the hook. We're always hooking. Then we're showing them, like relating to them, showing that, building interest. And then we're painting the vision. The value prop is painting the vision. The vision is 19 meetings per month for a fourth of the cost with better results. And then you're saying, then you're reversing, doing risk reversal. I guarantee you the same results or you don't pay. I'll chat with you as early as tomorrow. And the more specific you can be, the better. So the next one is a little bit, so this one is like based on, you're grabbing it based on people that are creating job posts, but this one might be more relatable. This is more just like, say you want to reach out to digital marketing agencies, you want to build them a system like this. What would you say? So you have the opener saying, hey, I've done research on you. Here's why you trust me. That builds trust in and of itself, because it says like, hey, I've done research. I'm not just a bot, even though you are a bot. And then you say, we build XYZ. We've helped an agency. You give them the proof. We've helped an agency like yours increase their close rate. There's close rate by 76%. You want to make the offer as clear as possible. Sometimes people like try to skirt around what the actual ask is. And that's, if it's in a cold email, you want to be as specific as possible. I want to build this system for you. I guarantee that you'll get these results. Respond with this word to show that you're interested. And then the value added incentive, also known as a lead magnet. This is kind of like the icing on the cake. So this builds all the interest, and then you're building the desire, the desire for it by saying like, hey, I know you might still be skeptical. I will give you this type of value, this huge value for free, to show you that I'm committed, to show you that what I have is valuable. And so that's the value add incentive, the lead magnet. And so ideally this lead magnet should be something that you can deliver very easily, that is like not too complicated, that if someone says, yes, I want that, within 10 minutes you could send it to them, right? If it takes more than 10 minutes to deliver, unless you're like really in grind mode, which I'm not, then that would, I would say keep it under 10 minutes. So now that we have the anatomy of a cold email, I want to talk about how do you actually create this pitch, right? Because the biggest thing, the opening variable is really important, but we can build a system to do this for us. The intro is really important. The social proof is really important. But the biggest thing is the pitch, right? This is how you say like, here's what I actually am offering to you. And so the offer that you're making, the offer as good as possible, is going to go a lot further than just like spending all of your time trying to tweak some of these other variables. So we're going to actually go into offer creation mode. And so I don't want to reinvent the wheel here. You've probably seen Alex Hormozi's $100 million offer framework. But this is how you create an offer, right? I'm not going to say that I have everything that you need to know about how to build an offer. So I'm not actually seeing the offer equation. I think that will pull up the right results here. Okay, boom, there it is. So this is the equation. Let's actually put this in here. Looks a little better. So copy image. So we're going to go back here. We're going to add in this offer equation. So this is how we actually create an offer. So you'll see a lot of similarities with the copywriting frameworks. what is the dream outcome that you're trying to paint a picture of? This is the 4 Ps. What is the likelihood of achievement? It's so the more that you show social proof, the more that you show that you're trustworthy, then they're going to feel more likely that if you said, hey, I've done this for 100 people just like you, that is showing them that you have a much higher likelihood of actually getting the achievement than the time delay and the effort and sacrifice. So in a lot of the emails, I'll guarantee you 10 booked sales meetings in the first 90 days. So the time delay is 90 days. And the idea here is you want to say, like, you don't have to do any work. This is completely done for you. I will do this entire offer for you. So we could do this for any type of service that we're offering. Usually it probably works better. I think cold emails primarily in the domain of you're offering a service. It's like probably not going to work as good for like a software product or something else. It definitely could. I mean, like if the software product is solving a very specific need, but it's very much like you don't want them to just like buy a product on like some landing page. What you're wanting them to do is get on a call, be interested, where you can actually go and walk them through that offer in detail, and then send them a proposal afterwards. So I'll go through on another video like the whole process from start to finish of like the frameworks, the system, how do you actually get people emails, reach out to them, etc., or on LinkedIn. But the idea is, so time delay, effort, and sacrifice, perceive. So if you can say like, I guarantee you'll get these results or your money back, this is basically saying like, I feel like I have a much higher likelihood of achievement, and you're decreasing the risk way down. So if they feel like, oh, it's really risky, I have to spend $7,000 and I don't even know if I'm going to get the outcome that I want, that's different than saying like, I guarantee you'll get this outcome or I'll refund you all of your money. And you have very little effort because I'm going to do everything for you, and it's going to be 90 days. So really it's the dream outcome of what are you accomplishing for them? How likely are you to achieve it in 90 days with no effort and sacrifice? Maybe they'll just have to get on some calls with you. So I guess there's a little bit where you have to kind of walk them through the system and get on some calls. And so now what I want to do is actually build this out for a client that is a little less straightforward. So these are some of the systems that I sell in my business, like cold email systems. I'm reaching out to agencies. Like the offer is very defined. The niche is very defined. For some other companies, it's a little less defined of what you actually want them to do. And so for this client, I want to walk through and build campaigns for each of the following. Maybe we won't do every single one of these on this call, but I want to walk through exactly how we would do this. So this is information. This person is targeting interior designers. They value access to unique, customizable, high-quality products. The average company size is 1 to 20. So it's a freelance or a boutique firm interior designer, up to 200 larger design firms. Important decision makers are designers, senior designers, design consultants, studio owners. And these are the specific roles in the example companies. And then this is what they want to sell. And so biggest customer groups to smallest. So this is the ICPs that we're targeting. And we want to basically reach out to these people with as solid of an offer as possible. So let's read through these. Home design and remodeling firm, custom home builds, high-end renovations, transforming residential spaces, reliable, stylish, customizable products, architects, product managers, custom home designers. So they want to sell their line of products to remodeling firms. They want to sell their line of products to interior designers. They basically want to build relationships with these types of people so that when they actually go and design interiors, they're using their products in the homes that they're designing for. And so showrooms is going to be showcasing products, showroom managers, hospitality designers, procurement firms. They've never marketed to them before. Responsible for designing interiors and sourcing furniture, especially for hospitality spaces. So they're going after like bigger like actually like hotels getting their product inside of like hotels, and then restaurant owners actually like getting their product inside of restaurants. And so this version puts interior designers first, combines home. Okay, so this person puts interior designers first. So we're going to target interior designers. So we have to figure out what are their jobs, what are their pains, what are their gains, and how do we actually create an offer for them. So I'm going to go into the second page here, which is going to show us actually a little bit more about like what the actual CTAs are. So scheduling a meeting to discuss this trade partnership. So we want them to schedule a meeting, highlight the benefits of joining the partner program. That's going to be a little bit hard. But saying like, hey, let's partner, let's collaborate, could be an interesting frame here. The second one is submit an application to join their trade partner program. The third CTA is get a free sample. The fourth one is experience how they can show their prospects. And so we're getting into the pain points here. So let's say that they want to schedule a meeting to discuss a trade partnership. So a trade partner, exclusive discounts, access to premium products, personalized supports. So the biggest CTA here is that they would be able to offer them at a discount and potentially get affiliate income for any of the homes that they're building. So let's say we're targeting interior designers, and I'm actually going to do this inside of Claude because I think it's really helpful to do this. And so inside of Claude, I'm going to say that we're targeting interior designers to join our partner program where they would get significant discounts on our products, i.e. vent hoods, what is it called? Vent hoods, sinks, etc. Help me identify the problems, the core problems and solutions of this target market. All right, so this is actually huge. And so cost management and profit margins. So if we go back here, for this client, let's actually create a little space over here. This is going to be, we're going to do something like this. So we're going to have like their pain points. I'm going to have the pain points, solutions / desires, and then their jobs. And so in doing this, we will be able to map out different aspects of the offer, and we'll be able to write really high quality copy. So in the pain points here, say so work with fixed budgets. They have to stay under specific prices, and they don't get much breathing room. The next one could be expensive items eat into budget fast. So a lot of this is about trying to keep it under they don't know if a product is reliable. Another pain point is, oops, what just happened here? Not sure what just happened. Don't know if the product is reliable. Another one here is, let's go back to Claude. Reputations are on the line. Reputations are on the line. Don't have reliable lie. So let's put this in the desire section. So one of their desires is to know stock availability, to know on-demand product availability and delivery schedules. Oops. Now if we go back here, what's another solution or desire? Difficulty showing clients. So this is actually really important because this client has a portal where they can actually show it how it would look in their space. Could maintain healthy margins. Real-time inventory, I believe this is something that we could work with. And then high-resolution product imagery and 3D models. Okay, so that's a couple of the solutions and desires. And now what we want to do is we want to actually craft this into an email. And so let's actually open up a new email, new Google Doc, where we'll write these emails in. All right, so cold email copy for client. I'm keeping the client's name secret to maintain anonymity. For this client, maintain their privacy. All right, so let's do cold email copy, ICP, so we're gonna go interior designers, and we're gonna go example 1, subject email. We're gonna start it out with, hey, first name. We're gonna add in the personalization line, personalization one-liner, and then what we want to do immediately after that is we want to just use the map here. So we could use a pattern interrupt, or we could use we do this. I'll do this for you. I know this is out of left field, but I saw that you were an interior designer and thought that there would be a, I like that. I know this is out of left field, but I noticed that you're an interior designer, but I wanted to reach out about potential partnerships. But I saw you're an interior designer. And figured I'd reach out. So a lot of times this is in the actual intro, but I was out of the field. But I saw you're an designer and figured there's potential to collaborate here. And we're going to say something like, we do this. We build custom copper products. What would you call it? Custom copper products. Custom, we can just put this custom range hood sinks, build custom copper range hood sinks, bathtubs, etc. And build custom. I want to make this like more. We build top of the line custom copper. That makes it sound really expensive. We build fully custom copper range hoods, sinks, bathtubs, etc. And would love to figure out if this is something. Would love to hear if this is something that would work in the homes that you work with. So we build these, how about this, for interior designers just like you. We sold X number of units. We sold X number of units last year. So we have to think about, what I'm trying to think through is, we're personalizing it, getting their intention, throwing a little pattern interrupt, showing that it's like a collaboration rather than a hard sell, saying we do this for people just like you. And then the CTA is, we'd love to discuss potential partnerships where we offer discounts to you, or we offer discounts, and then this is where we add in we speak to these things. We would love to help you so you can stay under fixed budgets, to support you in staying under fixed budgets and giving you on-demand product availability. We'd love to discuss potential partnerships. Does it make sense to chat? Best sender name. And so we build fully, so this is not entirely done. So we have to figure out, how do we actually create the offer? The offer is, we will resolve all of these pain points for you. We will bridge the gap, before or after bridge, to these solutions. Does it make sense to chat? So how do we put this? We do this for people just like you. We focus on helping for interior designers, etc. We focus on helping interior designers show in real time 3D models of the units to their clients, stay under budget, stay on while remaining under fixed budgets, in providing accurate delivery times and product availability. We would love to discuss a potential partnership. Does it make sense to chat? So you can see all the components of this. And one of the things to know about cold email copywriting is that it's really all about split testing, right? So we have this as our first email that we're really looking into. And this is targeting interior designers and focusing on how we can collaborate. It's trying to solve their pain points in the offer section. And then the biggest thing here that we could improve on is like, what I'm trying to think through here is, what is a lead magnet that / free value that we could give. And then the next thing is, how can we do risk reversal? What type of risks are they taking on? So this would be something where I really love dialoguing. So what are the risks that they would be taking on by buying, by partnering with us, and how can we reverse those risks in our offers? So it's reputation, it impacts your reputation. We could offer an extended warranty. So we could say like something like, add in the warranty that we provide on every product. We could also do price match will be your competitors. Probably not going to happen. We give you priority allocation during supply shortages. So essentially, if we added in some risk reversal here and maybe some sort of free value, this would be a really solid email. And so this is just the first one. A lot of times the email is just like, hey, first name, question. So you want to make it a little bit vague to get them to click on it, and then as soon as they see that it's personalized, they'll keep reading. That's the idea. And so we can do something like this. Let's see, instantly 600. So you can start to see what some of the templates are here. This is some templates from Instantly. So you're saying like, can I help with pain point, solution for your thoughts, quick collaboration with. So see how they're all like very short. Quick one, you could say like quick one, name. You could say like ideas on partnership. It's probably not as good. Quick question for about. I really like that one actually. Quick question about boom. And so that's what it takes to write good cold emails. And you can see that this is a very long and arduous process actually, right? Like this is still not good. I would not feel comfortable putting this out to market yet. And you can see like what I said at the beginning, 90% of copywriting is the research that you're doing. I feel like this is the best copy that I can write at this moment. But I need to do way more research on the pain points and solutions and understanding these people. And like, are these the actual like most visceral pain points? Can I rank these pain points on a scale of like most like pressing to least pressing? How do I like, what is the certain verbiage that they use to talk about these? And so this is just based on like initial research from Claude. But what I would do is as many more pain point solutions desires as possible. I would create as many different variations on the offer as I possibly could. And then what I would do here is I would create maybe 3 different variations on this and test these all inside of Instantly. And then this is only for the first ICP that I'm working with this client. The next one is home and design remodeling firms. Next one is kitchen and bath showrooms. So there's a lot of different ways we could go about this. But you just want to take it one step at a time. This is going to be one of our campaigns. And basically what we're going to do is we're going to take this one campaign. We're going to have 2 or 3 different split tests inside of Instantly. The camera died, so I'm switching over to the Mac camera. So we basically have a couple different variations on each of these emails. So like I would create, if for all these different ICPs, we'll probably end up running 15 different campaigns, because what we're going to be doing is we're going to be running a split test on each variation of whatever the ICPs are. We're going to run split tests on the offers. So let's say we have 2 or 3 different solid offers that we end up coming up with. Then we're going to run split tests on the offers, split tests on the ICPs. So we're going to have like interior designer offer 1 split test. Or interior designer, let's split test these offers. Interior designer, this offer worked best. Now let's split test that, see how we get the best results on that specific offer, et cetera, et cetera. And so this is a little bit of what the process looks like. I might end up doing a full video where I actually show you like the entire research process as well, because I'm kind of just telling you right now, like 90% of it's the research. Like you got to do the research. And then here's the actual structure and packaging of that research. But it might not be obvious to you guys how to actually do that sort of research. So I might make a video where I actually show you like going through different competitors' websites, finding data, adding it into AI, doing the research, and like actually crafting the offer. This was a pretty quick approach to crafting offers. But the biggest thing is like, how can I best describe in 2 to 3 sentences how I can alleviate their most pressing pains? And then how do I ask for the CTA? And how do I show credibility, right? So it says we build this. This is probably not enough credibility. So something that we could do here is like drop this into Claude. 1 second. We could drop this into Claude and we could say add, create, write 5 variations on this sentence with the objective of adding in more credibility into this sentence. So like the amount of years they've been in business, custom crafted, American made, number of total, yeah, so these feel better. Handcrafted premium. We build with over 100,000 units sold. Something like this. We're showing them that like, if we've sold this much, they should trust us. We're not just like some nobody brand that sells these things. We've sold over 100,000, or potentially that it's custom, maybe been in business for 20 years, something like that. And so this is what I'm thinking through. This looks a little bit better actually. And so I hope you found this video valuable. I know there's a lot of different components to copywriting. As you can see, there's a lot of like, how do you best implement these frameworks and structures? That's also a tricky process in and of itself. How do you best create value? This is a question we're all asking ourselves in the business world, right? And so if you study these frameworks, if you figure out how do you actually get as much data on a consumer about what their problem is, what the solution is, etc., to be able to add into these specific containers, these specific variables, you'll be ahead of 99% of people that are writing cold emails. I can't tell you the number of cold emails that I get that are absolute trash. Like, I'll read them and I'll be like, you literally did no research. You're coming out straight with a huge ask. I don't know why I should trust you, and there's no risk reversal. So if you can get those core things straight, you'll put yourself in a really good place. And so, thank you so much for watching this. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you want to learn how to actually build this into systems, you may like the free school community. I recently started offering free onboarding calls here. So what you can essentially do is, I actually don't know if I'm sharing the right screen here. I'll just put it on both of them. What you can essentially do is you can book an onboarding call. I'll audit your business, make sure that you are, we'll create an actual plan for you to build AI skill sets. And there's a bunch of in-depth trainings if you want to build agents, if you want to learn what it takes to do high quality prompt engineering, to build high quality AI sales agents, marketing agents, and getting any of the templates here. So I hope you found this valuable, and